So the story of the company John Deere is in many ways the story of the American economy. It's a 200-year-old company, or roughly 200 years. It's like 190 years old. And it started out as like a really good moral company, but it's just gradually decayed over time, the same way that like American capitalism has. During the Great Depression, all of these farmers went bankrupt. And instead of like a lot of them had bought their equipment with debt, and instead of like foreclosing on the equipment and taking it back, John Deere let them keep the equipment until they could pay for it. So they absorbed like $12 million that they could have taken away from the farmers. And then when the Bank of Moline, which was the bank that all of their workers stored their money at, when it went bankrupt, the head of the company, Charles Deere Weeman, who is the grandson of John Deere, like the original guy, he used his own money to bail out the bank so that his workers wouldn't go bankrupt.
Insane.
And he lost millions of dollars in today's dollars doing that.
I feel like if you held a gun to a CEO's head today, they would not.
They wouldn't do it. Like, could you imagine Jeff Bezos giving any money to the people who work in his...
That's so horrifying.
Yeah. But so because of this, they won incredible loyalty from farmers because farmers remembered like, oh, John Deere helped us out when we needed it.
Yeah.
And so they have this expression which is like bleeding green. So like people who work on farms, they bleed green because they like are so loyal to John Deere.
Yeah.
Between 1945 and 1970, John Deere grew a lot. They became the #1 tractor equipment or farm equipment seller in the world. And all of their workers were able to have things like healthcare, a house, and pensions. They were able to afford to buy a house, even if they were like non-college educated workers. This is kind of the story you hear of like early 1900s America.
These were the guys that just walked into a place and handed their resume to the boss and shook their hand and they got a job.
We make fun of that, but that's like the way it should be.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way a functioning economy works. When America is working well, and the reason for that is because there was good competition and unions were strong. So there was no like corporate monopolies and unions were strong. So the 45 to like through the 70s were like, that was the golden era. At the end though, what happened was the value of farmland basically exploded because of a bunch of other situations. The rest of the world had to buy crops from America. And when that happened, it became profitable for farmers to take out a bunch of debt so that they could buy more farmland and grow more crops. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they thought like, oh, the rest of the world's going to be buying from America forever. We should just take on a bunch of debt and we'll be able to pay it back. And so you can see here, this is a chart of investments per farm. You can see this spike right around 1977. And this is like when farmers were taking on all this debt to invest in themselves, basically. But
Spoilers ahead.
Yeah, you can see that it didn't work out very well for them.
Yeah.
When farms were booming, part of the problem with that was that the reason they were doing well was because food was expensive, right? There was a high demand for food. And another way of putting that is that it was that they had big inflation, right?
Yeah.
Because if the prices of food goes up, that's good for farmers, but for the rest of America, that's bad. And there were a number of other things during the 70s that also raised prices. There were a number of oil shocks, which just means like it was hard to get oil. That caused the price of oil to go up. So basically, there was a lot of inflation during the 70s, like way more than what we have now. They had 13 years of continuous inflation. And this is a really big problem for economies.
Yeah.
Because if you have continuous inflation, what happens is people start to kind of accept in their mind that prices always go up by a lot. And it can create this feedback loop where because people expect prices to go up, prices go up. And because prices go up, people start to expect it and it kind of spirals upwards. But it's called an inflationary spiral. And it's basically a death blow for an economy.
Yeah.
So they hired this guy, Paul Volcker, to basically stop the inflationary spiral. And the way that he did it was by intentionally causing a recession in the American economy. So he had to basically cause everyone to lose a bunch of money so they would stop expecting to spend a bunch of money.
Was that like, who was that approved by?
Well, so, I mean, he was in charge. He was hired. The Fed is hired by the president and approved by the Senate. But as soon as they're hired, no one's in charge of them.
That's kind of insane that one guy could be like, recession.
I mean, most economists kind of agree that what he did was in some way necessary, but it was way harsher than it. Well, that is a debated thing. Some people would say
because he did it
harsher.
tall.
What?
Because he did it tall.
Because he did it tall. Exactly. Yeah. Tall guys get away with everything.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
More room to store evil.
So what happened when he did this is farmers got fucked. And I'm not going to go over all of this, but basically what happened was the demand for American farming goods dropped throughout the world. And because of all of this, because of Paul Volcker causing a recession, all of that debt that the farmers took on, they weren't able to pay it off. So there was this combined 1-2 punch of them not being able to sell their stuff for as much, and then also not, like because of the recession, not making as much, and basically they ended up, getting fucked.
Yeah. Are you making these illustrations yourself?
Mm-hmm. Do you like them?
That's why it takes you so damn long to make a PowerPoint.
I think it looks good though.
Did you make it out of like separate shapes?
It's clearly a little farmer guy.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Aww.
Okay. And so when all of this happened, this is kind of the sad part. So
this is the sad part?
Well, I mean, there's going to be a lot of sad parts to come.
Yeah.
But basically the point is that America used to have all these independent family farms. You probably know this, being from like kind of
my
a farming
hometown looks
country.
like war-torn Iraq, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah. So a big part of the reason for that is because when all this shit happened to farmers, they all went bankrupt. And so all of farmland, it started to get consolidated by banks and large corporations, and hundreds of thousands of family farms essentially disappeared in like a couple of years. And
this is the early 80s?
This was like 83 to 86.
Yeah.
Probably like 81 to 86. But yeah, so basically all of these little family farms went under. And then they got bought up by banks and large corporations. Farmers started to commit suicide and stuff like that. And essentially this was like the disappearance of the American farm. So you can see here, this chart, this is the value of Iowa farmland. You can see like right around 83, between 83 and 86, the value just plummets.
Yeah.
And so all of the people who were, borrowing, they were expecting this line to keep going up. And so when this line leveled off, they got screwed.
They've never seen the graph emoji.
I know, right?
Where it goes up and then it goes down.
When this happened, it used to be that there were a bunch of different companies competing for the share of the market, but then it essentially became a duopoly. So just two companies competing for farmers, they consolidated their power. And this is really bad for consumers. When there's less competition among like companies, what ends up happening is that they can charge more and like make worse products because customers have nowhere else to go.
I just realized you could film this part without me. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
No, because the back of your head needs to be in.
You could have my corpse here. It'd probably be better.
In many ways would be better,
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
It's okay. Just try not to talk anymore.
Okay. All right.
So,
walk me through this illustration. Is that a UFO?
It's a satellite.
Wow.
And a tractor. You don't see that? It's a
The
little satellite.
satellite thing was really
I mean,
we're getting sort of
what do you expect from me at this point?
I don't know. You could do like a little
I think this is good. I think it is.
If you hired me, I think I could do some pretty good illustrations.
Okay, all right.
But
Well,
I charge $1 billion.
Yeah, you can.
You're gonna have to give me a
the
compound
30 cents a video that I make from these. So, but it's important. So what I'm saying, like kind of like the progression here that we're seeing, right? So all of these companies go bankrupt. You see a consolidation in the market, right? And then John Deere basically controls these little areas. So what's happening over time is consumers are getting less and less choice, right?
Yeah.
You're forced into this one route. And so because of that, John Deere can start to extract more and more from their customers. So what they're doing now, and this is like the kind of famous part, is they've essentially turned owning a tractor into a subscription service.
Oh,
Yeah.
what the hell?
So they bought all of this GPS technology and they created like self-driving, self-operating tractors. And this is like it's a good, like, it helps. It definitely improves efficiency on farms. But the problem is now if you want to buy a tractor, not only do you have to pay for their subscription, but you can't repair it on your own and you can't take it to an independent repair shop because of the software, right? Because an independent repair shop can't get through the software. They're have
like
locks
the
on
Apple of tractors.
It's literally this. It's the same exact thing. And in fact, the right to repair movement, which is what I'm about to talk about, is the same. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So they created this software. It used to be that farm equipment, farmers could repair it on their own, or they could take it to like an independent dealership.
Yeah.
And they could get it fixed. But because of these software things, even if you know how to fix it, you can't do it because you need to use the software to like pair the new part.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's actually fucked up too because you can only have you can't share tractor subscriptions anymore.
Yeah.
You used to be able to share them, and
have,
now
like,
it's
a
like you have to have
Netflix,
one per household.
Yeah. Like your ex-girlfriend,
We can't have
and
shit.
you still have the...
My ex-girlfriend's still on my tractor. What the fuck?
And so using this, what they've done is they've essentially turned the repairs of tractors into their most profitable business stream.
Well, and then wouldn't they just make the tractors fall apart immediately?
Yeah, that I mean, so John Deere, I'll be clear, like they're still the premium product, so they're still making good tractors.
Are they paying you?
No. I wish.
You're like,
John
they're
Deere,
actually pretty fucking
let me
good.
know. I'll fucking turn.
You're literally just
I'll
in this
make a
whole thing
video
about
about
how evil
how good
they
you
are,
are.
and
Yeah,
then you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
actually, wait for the bag.
In a minute, I would immediately turn. Just
That's
any,
so
literally,
brutal.
it's so much less than you think.
Oh my god.
But okay, so because they have they can basically force people to use their repair shops. They've started making their repair shops super fucking expensive. And so this became literally the most profitable business model for John Deere. They made $6 billion in 2022 just on forcing people to do repairs with their companies. And farmers are losing a lot of money, which makes food more expensive. This is one of the reasons that food is more expensive for everyone. You know what I mean? Because if it's expensive for farmers to do this, it's expensive for everyone.
Don't put this in there, but I like how thick this guy is.
I'm going to put that in there.
I just like, those are my people. You know
yeah,
what
that's
I mean?
a Midwesterner for sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
And he knows
You know who's surviving the like Ozempic wars / water wars? Thickums in the Midwest, dude. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Ozempic wars.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all the Ozempic people are not going to survive the water wars.
That's fair. Yeah, those people are frail. So it kind of culminated with this, which is that a bunch of people filed a lawsuit against John Deere saying that we have the right to fix our own thing. Because it's not like they don't know how to fix it. They know these farmers, they know how to fix it. It's just that the software literally prevents you from fixing it on your own. And so when they filed this lawsuit, John Deere literally said that they don't own their own tractors. They said, and I quote, "You receive an implied license for the life of the vehicle to operate the vehicle."
What the hell does that mean?
Basically, it's saying that you don't own it. You bought it, but you don't own it. They own it, and so you don't have the right to fix it. You have to take it to them to fix. And so,
how is that legal?
Well,
can you keep the beep in there?
hopefully people picked up that we're in Brooklyn. But yeah, so this is like they literally said you don't own your tractor. Every time I talk, it's like this guy is like, he knows that I'm doing something. He knows I'm doing something. But so, I mean, like just to like I know that like that we're joking, but like if you spent $1 million to buy a tractor and then they were like, you don't own it, we own it. Like that's infuriating. You know what I mean?
I'd start doing terrorism.
Yeah, it's nuts. And so this huge movement started to form called the Right to Repair movement. And so interestingly, this guy, Willie Cade, is actually the grandson of the most famous John Deere engineer of all time, this guy named Theo Brown, who designed a lot of John Deere's original tractors. And he and a bunch of other people, he's not the main guy, but I'm just using him it's because it's an interesting example. They kind of start doing all of this thing where they start filing lawsuits and saying like, these people I'm gonna fucking kill someone. But yeah, so they start like saying like, we should have the right to fix our own shit.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, the iPhone, it's the same thing, right? Like we should have the right to fix an iPhone. We should have the right to fix our own things.
Yeah.
Or at least have independent repair shops that we can take things to. And if you think about, cars are like a good example of this. We actually
I feel like you're gonna poke my eye out. You keep pointing that thing
well, it's
so aggressively.
I get kind of into it.
Yeah, but what if like it flies out of your hands and then I lose an eye? Now I have to have a glass eye.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
We is crazy. I would sue you for all the money that you would get from John Deere.
I'm not getting any money from John Deere, so you could have all of it if you want. Basically, though, they started pushing back against this because this is fucked up. Like you should be able to own the stuff you own, and so they tried to pass a right to repair law in Nebraska, but the Association for Equipment Manufacturers basically struck it down. And there were a bunch of other states, I think like 20 other states, tried to pass right to repair laws around then, and the Association for Equipment Manufacturers was able to lobby the government and strike it down, even though these laws are really, really popular. So just kind of like an example of government corruption.
Perfect.
But then Lena Khan comes. She was the chairwoman of the FTC under Joe Biden.
Yeah.
The FTC regulates monopolies. So they're the company that's in charge of making sure that monopolies don't exist. She filed a lawsuit against John Deere and in favor of right to repair. And they took it to court. And also states in 2023 were able to successfully pass some right to repair laws. So they started bringing these lawsuits, right? The problem is that after Lena Khan was out of office, Trump's FTC chairman, Andrew Ferguson, who unfortunately has the same last name as me, took into office, and he was not as enthusiastic about fighting this case. But because he was the chairman of the FTC, he was forced to carry it through. So what he did was, instead of taking it all the way to trial, even though they had John Deere like dead to rights, like John Deere was doing this stuff that was illegal, he settled with them out of court. And it was a victory for farmers, you know, like they said that John Deere has to provide them with the ability to repair their own equipment or take it to independent repair shops. But he didn't create a precedent for other like trials. So what happens is if he had finished this case, if he had taken it to court, it would have created a law, like basically a new precedent that like companies like Apple or other companies that were exhibiting monopolistic behavior would have had to follow. But he didn't do that. And so there's still more to be done. So the solution is basically undoing everything that happened in the 80s. We need to break up these monopolies. John Deere, Amazon, Google, Apple, all these companies should be broken up into smaller companies to reduce their amount of power. This will reduce the amount of corruption that's in politics, and it'll also increase competition, which is good for the economy. So everybody wins. The only people who lose, obviously, are like the corporate fat cats who are at these companies.